advice you've gotten this week as you get ready to play a guy like play Lamar Jackson?
I mean, I feel like there's nothing that really needs to be said. It's all over the tape, what he does. So it's really just going to be on us to, stop him and stop, their offense.
And how do you feel about your guys' ability, with interior pressure and pressure from the edges to contain him?
Yeah, I feel like that's a big part of our job. We know playing him, what that presents and what kind of problems that does. So just game plan accordingly, and we just got to rush together. 4 guys working as one.
Mason, how much do you look forward to these sort of big-time matchups? Like, I know this is only your second NFL game, but throughout your football career, how much have you looked forward to matchups like this?
I mean, I always look up forward to matchups like this. As a competitor, we all want to play, against and with the best. So I feel like that's this game, especially, and it's going to be 2 good teams going at it.
What did you take away from your week 1 performance after looking back on the film?
I feel like I played all right. I need to play way better. According to my standards. So I feel like I missed some pass rush opportunities that I wanted back, but that's in the past now, and just focused on this Sunday.
How close do you think you got to getting that sack safety?
It was close. That's what I mean when I said before, working as one. We were all kind of rushing together there, and Zay happened to get it, but we all kind of rushing there.
You guys held the Bengals to like 46 net rushing yards. What felt good about the run defense, and how do you replicate that in a game that you're going to need it against the quarterback and a strong running back in their backfield?
In the Bengals game, we kind of knew, they were going to run the ball to an extent, but, they're more of a passing team. But, just seeing the Ravens, they really want to run the ball, and that's what they lay their hat on. So that's something we have to have an extra emphasis on and, really stop the run to get those opportunities to pass rush.
Just the size of Derrick Henry and what you're seeing on film, what kind of challenges will he present for you?
Well, he's a strong runner, experienced, makes a lot of plays, so just got to get him down.
I know Lamar's kind of a one-of-one, but is there anybody in your college career that you can point to that even remotely comes close to something like that?
I would say maybe Jalen Milroe to an extent, somewhat. If I had to compare him to someone I'd say that I played, then I'd say him.
So do you feel like, are you glad that you have a game under your belt and kind of get the jitters out a little bit before you have to go into Baltimore, play on the road, face someone like Lamar that's going to just kind of be all over the place?
Every game's a progression. I just want to keep on getting better, as the season progresses, and just play even better football as the year goes on. So I feel like last week was an all right start, but I want to take a bigger step this week.
Last week kind of showed you guys how dominant
Yeah, we always knew, just from training camp and even OTAs, we kind of knew, what kind of defense we were going to be. So we want to just, lay our hat on running to the ball, and D-line messes stuff up. So that's what we do.
Mason, what's kind of the key to starting fast?
Creating negative plays, stopping the run. They're going to want to run the ball, especially early. So I'd say just knocking out the run game, they're really effective in it. So just start with that.
Amazed all over again about the kind of game that Myles Garrett had, and what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I feel like Myles played really good, and I feel like he maybe could have had 2 more sacks that, if you really watch the film, he could have got. But he's always a game wrecker, and that's what he's going to do every week.
What does it make maybe the biggest adjustment you guys made from Series 1 to the rest of the game? You kind of, because after that first series, you guys did a much better job, it seemed like, against Lamar.
Yeah, I feel like just in the first series we were kind of, panicked, and we were, it was a lot of the guys' first time being out there together as a unit, so I feel like maybe that's kind of what it was. But, Coach Schwartz dug into us a little bit, and then we kind of turned it on a little bit after that.
There's a couple of guys, in your locks, like Grant and Jerry, that have kind of, just thrown down the gauntlet a little bit to the Ravens and said things about their secondary and bringing Jerry. Does that, what do you think of when teammates kind of trash talk a little bit heading into a game like that?
We're just competitors at the end of the day. We all want to win, and, people say some things, but we're just there to play football on Sundays, so we're just going to compete when it's time to compete.
Quinshon, what about the job Carson did in week 1 and just all the responsibility he has with calling the defense, and how have you guys gotten closer since you both been drafted?
Yeah, I feel like he's always done a really good job, getting everyone set, letting everyone know what's going on. It's kind of that's what you want out of your middle linebacker. So, I have a closer relationship than probably some of the people here, but we're neighbors, so we talk and we'll do some stuff together and kind of just build that bond.
Were you a Lamar fan growing up? Not growing up, but have you been a Lamar fan for a long time? Is he somebody that you have really admired? And if so, is it almost are you a little bit in awe of getting on the field and playing somebody like that?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff he does you can't replicate. So, he's a different player, and we just need to stop him on Sunday.
Good. Cool.
Oh, you guys can ask questions.
Talk about just everything that you've been through. What does it feel like to be back here trying to get this thing back on track?
It's a great feeling just to be back with all of my teammates, back in the building, focus on football, and back in Cleveland to help the team win.
Quinshon, obviously, it's the first time we've seen you since June, and obviously the arrest. I know that prosecutors declined to formally charge you, but do you have any comment on the whole situation and everything that happened?
Yeah, about the situation, I'm glad that the prosecutors, closed the case and didn't file any charges, and I'm appreciative of that. But, like I said, just happy to be back in Cleveland, with my teammates, and here to accomplish my goal.
And do you think that you'll be ready to, obviously, this question would have played, do you think you'll be ready to go on Sunday?
I'm taking it day by day right now. Just focus in the playbook and just focus.
What was the meeting like in New York with the NFL, and do you have any worries about being suspended going forward?
I can't control that. I think, what I can do is just go out on the field and just be able to help my teammates and, prepare each and every day for it.
Do you feel like you have to re-earn the trust of people because of the arrest, because of the legal process, the legal issues you had to go through?
No, my teammates, my coaches, everybody here, they know who I am. They drafted me here. The impact that I've had on the team since I first got here. I'm back, focused, ready to take on a challenge.
Do you have any regrets from that situation?
I would say, you learn different things, and, you see how important the people that are around you are, like your family, your inner circle, people that support you when you go through things like that. But like I said, I made it through that, and happy to be back.
What would you say to fans that, might wonder, might wonder about you as a person, as a human being, about your character? What can you kind of tell fans about yourself?
Say more so the people that are around me, my teammates, my family, people that I impact, always been who I am, and, I can't be anybody that I'm not. So I say just control what I control and be myself.
Once the legal situation got resolved, why did it take so long for you to get here? Do you feel like, the fact that you weren't able to play week 1, does that bother you?
I think as a competitor, I would say, not being able to compete. That's one of the most things that I looked at. But, here now, just looking forward and ready to go out there and, compete when I'm ready.
Quinshon, in your time away from the team, what were you able to do to try to keep yourself ready to go and be back here for this moment?
The same thing that I would have been doing close to it if I was here. Just training, staying focused, a lot of working out, in my playbook, with my pads and different things of that nature. So just focus.
I'll give you any idea of what the time frame is or what the next steps are when you left there on Wednesday?
I didn't, when I was there, like I said, it's nothing that I can control or anything like that. I think for myself, it's just making sure I'm prepared when the time is there.
Quinshon, what has the message been from Kevin, from Davey, since you've been back? And I guess for you, just the fact that they are giving you a second chance here, what does that mean for you?
like I said, I think everybody here has already known who I am. So I don't think it was any second questions or anything of that nature, especially like I said with everything being closed and with the decision of the prosecutor and all. But, just for me to be back here and with my teammates, everybody that I love, and see their emotions and how happy they were when I was back in the building, it was fun.
Along those lines, it's a tough way for you to start your rookie season in the NFL. Do you feel a real sense of relief that a lot of this is behind you now?
Definitely, I would say, just back to playing football and focused. Happy to be here and, start off with a great start.
I know you said you're day by day as far as when you'll be ready to go, but how did you feel in practice these last 2 days, physically and mentally, about if they ask you to play Sunday, you'll be ready?
I feel good. Like I said, just still taking it day by day in the playbook, learning everything I need to know in case I have to go out there and play.
How do you feel that you've come through this situation, just in terms of, you're young, I know it's been stressful. How do you feel like you are, I guess, mentally right now to be here trying to just focus on football when this has been a lot?
Yeah, I would say more so. That's why I'm very happy of close here in the circle, my family, and the support of everyone that's been around me this whole time. Like I said, so just mentally staying sharp and focused, so when the time is ready, I'm ready to go.
Quinshon, were you ever at any point through the process concerned that maybe you wouldn't be here?
I would say I wasn't focusing or thinking of it that way. I'm just trying to think positive. Continue to do what I do and, get better as a player, as a competitor, and focus on what I can control.
Quinshon, during your time away, were there people within the organization, teammates, coaches, players, front office that you stayed in contact with, even after the arrest?
Like I said, I was just more so just focused on improving on the field and, ready when the time was there.
I know you worked out with Isaiah Bond in the pre-draft process, I believe it was. Have you guys, and he went through some similar issues. Have you guys been sort of a support to each other in everything that you've been through?
I think, like I said, for me to be back in the locker room with all of my teammates, you could see their expressions of how happy they were that I was back here in Cleveland, and, back to playing football, and just spend a lot of time with them, getting the playbook, and be around those guys all day.
Very good. Quinshon, if it's Sunday or next week, whenever it is, what kind of impact do you think you can have as an offense in this running game in particular when you get back out?
I think me as a competitor, as a player, you want to go out there and do your best every single day you step on the field. So if I have to play, I'm going to give them all.
You watched Dylan play on Sunday. Did you have visions in your head of what you guys can do as a sort of a 1-2 combination here?
I looked at our whole running back room as a whole, what Jerome did, look at Rocket and Dylan as well, and all those guys went out there and, did their best on the field, so I'm proud of each and every one of them. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Quinshon.